Back in a previous Flat Earth Fail compilation, we looked at MultiTomTom, who thought that he had found the back of the sun.
As you can see, that black spot in the sky, that is the real sun.
Well, today we're going to be taking a look at one of his longer videos where he thinks that Polaris proves a flat Earth. This should be interesting. Hello all and welcome along to another episode of Flat Earth Friday with me, Simon Dan. Thank you very much for joining me. Before we begin today, I want to say a huge thank you to the sponsors of today's video, Surfshark VPN. Surfshark is a VPN that makes online privacy protection easy and attainable, encrypting all internet traffic sent to and from all of your devices and ensuring your IP address remains hidden so nobody can see what you're doing online. On top of that, they block ads, trackers, malware and phishing attempts, and unlike other VPN services, you can use it on as many devices as you like simultaneously. The internet knows a lot about us. I spend so much time online, it's unbelievable, and that is why we should care about our online data. Use Surfshark to encrypt your personal data and send it via a secure VPN tunnel so nobody can see the data that you're sending online, which is great for things like protecting your ID. ID theft is an increasingly common and scary crime. Surfshark and its HackLock system will send you an alert anytime your email address or passwords are compromised. HackLock scans various databases of leaked information and notifies the user so that they can take any action if needed. Click on the link in the description or go to surfshark.deals/SimonDan and use my code SimonDan to get a massive 85% off plus 3 months extra free. Right, back to today's video, which I might add was voted for by my patrons in the monthly poll to see which video I'm going to take a look at each month. If you want to have a look at that, I'll leave the link for that in the description as well. There's plenty of rewards up for grabs, please do take a look. Right then, back to MultiTomTom and his curious claim that Polaris proves a flat Earth. Let's really try with this one, guys. Come on, MultiTomTom, away you go.
Now, there are some idiots going around the internet claiming that the angles to Polaris proves a basketball Earth.
Bit of a harsh start, but okay. Well, it actually does that, but a little bit more on that later.
Au contraire, mon ami. Actually, it proves the opposite. It proves a flat Earth.
Oh, does it now? This better be good.
And I will show towards the end of the under this video how it works on a flat Earth and doesn't on a ball Earth.
Excellent. Can't wait.
They claim that the first person to create a globe and then incorporate parallels and meridians was Eratosthenes. Yeah, that's right, that guy who measured the distance to the sun and the circumference of the Earth using 2 sticks on the ground.
Well, the distance to the sun one isn't entirely true. Aristarchus first did that in around 250 BC, but Eratosthenes certainly was the first person to come up with a pretty good value for the Earth's circumference.
It says he created the first global projection of the world, incorporating longitudes and latitudes. No, he did not. All he did was create a perfect sphere and divided it equally. He knew that a circle must equal 360 degrees.
Well, if the planet you live on is a sphere, you know, you kind of need to use the maths associated with one.
Just listen to this entry in Wikipedia. Eratosthenes' method to calculate the Earth's circumference has been lost. What has been preserved is the simplified version described by Cleomedes to popularize the discovery. And look at the diagram on the right. underneath the caption reads, measure of Earth circumference according to Cleomedes' simplified version, based on the wrong assumption that Syene is on the Tropic of Cancer and on the same meridian as Alexandria.
Syene is now known as Aswan and sits at a latitude of 24 degrees north. The Tropic of Cancer is 23.5 degrees north. That equates to about 30 miles, so not really a huge difference. Also, Alexandria is at 29.9 degrees east and Aswan at 32.2 degrees east. So still not a huge gap if we're talking about the meridian line. But let's remember, Eratosthenes did not get the exact value for the circumference of the Earth. He was slightly out. To find a city that sits exactly on the Tropic of Cancer and then another one that's relatively close on its exact meridian, back then would have been almost impossible. Eratosthenes used what he had to work with and did a bloody good job as well.
Am I reading Martian or is it English?
Shouldn't that be Martian or Earthish?
It's crystal clear that Eratosthenes is bollocks. I don't think he even existed.
Is it though? I've just explained why it's not MultiTomTom. Also, that's very rude.
Cleomedes assumes that the distance between Syene and Alexandria was 5,000 stadia. He assumes the simplified but false hypothesis that Syene was precisely on the Tropic of Cancer.
Yes, we've talked about that. Let's move on to his next point, which regards the evidence for Eratosthenes' experiment ever happening.
That is a contradiction because under the heading Works, the last paragraph, the last sentence reads, unfortunately, there are only fragments left of his works after the destruction of the Library of Alexandria. So how the f do you know he did anything?
So people don't talk then, MultiTomTom. He absolutely existed and he absolutely did an experiment to try and find the value for the circumference of the Earth. Work remained, people did comment on it. It's not hard to imagine how that experiment remained popular with those sorts of thinkers back then.
This is all bollocks. It's like when you research Pythagoras or Aristarchus or Hipparchus, they make a disclaimer at the end saying none of their written work exists. So these characters could all be made up.
Yeah, let's make up a guy called Pythagoras and then let's make up a theorem about triangles and name it after the guy that we just made up. Sounds legit.
This map shows the known world at the time of Eratosthenes. You can see Europe, the Mediterranean Sea, and Northern Africa with Arabia, and the furthest east they'd go is India. So what Eratosthenes did was not really scientific because he didn't know anything about the world that he lived in at the time.
Well, he obviously did. He knew how it looked as per the map you are showing, and he would have known that when he stood at the shore at Alexandria, he would not have been able to see Turkey or Greece. And he probably thought, I wonder what shape I'm living on if I can't see that far. And then, being an inquisitive guy, he probably thought, I wonder how big that shape is that I'm living on. It's really not that hard to imagine.
It wasn't until the invention of the sextant that real oceanic exploration began. This is Sir Edmund Halley, yes, he of the Halley's Comet.
Seen that one, haven't I? Oh.
He was a member of the Royal Society and later to become the second Astronomer Royal after John Flamsteed. Halley is credited with charting many stars in the southern hemisphere.
What was that?
many stars in the southern hemisphere.
Just checking.
And this gave the British Navy an edge, because up until the invention of the gyro compass, they used star charts for oceanic navigation. So with this new southern hemisphere star chart, the British began to have an edge over the others, and this is how the British Empire came to be.
Well, it's a bit more complicated than that, but okay. Still funny that he's saying southern hemisphere without blinking.
They quickly had dominance over the ocean, and they charted passage to New Zealand and Australia. So the British had the edge.
Sorry, what does this actually have to do with anything? Is he building up to some massive reveal here?
And don't forget their patriotic song. Rule Britannia, Britannia rules the waves. Sir Edmund Halley has been credited with doing much work on longitudes. But the problem was that he believed the Earth was a basketball. Now, the ball Earth Decepticons will use a diagram similar to this to deceive you, because they will use the red lines and present it as angles to Polaris, but of course that is wrong.
No, it's not. Wherever you are in the northern hemisphere, Polaris will appear to be at a certain angle in the sky. That angle will always match the exact latitude of your location on Earth. I'm based at around 50 degrees north, and guess what? The angle to Polaris is at my location. There is only one geometric shape where this is possible. You've guessed it, a sphere.
Because as you move further away, the star should lower towards the horizon.
Exactly. The further south you go, the lower it will appear in the sky.
As shown by the green line. So, this can only happen on a flat Earth.
Okay, but should it not always be visible on a flat Earth? In South Africa, for example?
If the Earth was a basketball, then as you move towards the equator, the star will be obstructed by the curvature of the Earth. So, from the equator, the most you would see would be up to point B.
Hang on, has he just switched sides? MultiTomTom, you can't see Polaris in the southern hemisphere because of that very reason. You've just debunked yourself, buddy.
It would be impossible to see Polaris from near the equator. It can only happen on a flat Earth.
And also, if you're talking about the equator, shouldn't it be the lower green line on your diagram?
So, we have to expose the globe lies. The Earth is flat and stationary.
Round of applause everyone for MultiTomTom, who has literally shown that you can't see Polaris in the southern hemisphere because of the fact the Earth is a sphere. Wow, what a turn up for the books. Wasn't expecting that one. Dear oh dear. Right, that wraps up another Flat Earth Friday. I've got a little bit of good news for those who liked the Round 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 song. Well, the two brothers from Wolf Brothers Cinema have finally released a full version of it, and they hope that it will make you smile and bring a little bit of joy to your isolation. Just click on the link in the description to get the full song, the instrumental and the ringtone that you often see in my videos. Right, just enough time again to once again thank Surfshark for sponsoring today's video. Again, please visit surfshark.deals/SciManDan and use my code SciManDan to get 85% off and 3 months extra free. Thank you all very much for watching today. If you enjoyed it, then please do like and subscribe. I've been SciManDan, have yourselves a great weekend, and I'll see you all on Tuesday for a bit of old Jeranism. See you then.